Hi everybody! Welcome to episode 34 of the Queen City Yarn Dying to Knit podcast. I'm Kristen, and this is a podcast about knitting and yarn dyeing and sometimes weaving and spinning, pretty much just my adventures in making things. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is Thursday, December the 31st, 2020, the very last day of this crazy year. So welcome! I have a Bailey's latte because it's New Year's Eve. And it's very delicious. I have lots of things to share with you today. It has been a long time since I podcasted. The last time I recorded an episode was September. Though full disclosure, I did try and record an episode in October 3 times. The first time there was no sound. The second time the computer was not processing the video, and it was just not meant to be. So I'm coming to you at the very end of December. I have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 finished sweaters to show you. Today I have some of my finished objects that I've finished since September, though many have been sent off to be gifted for the holidays. And I have some works in progress. And yeah, so I just kind of wanted to start off the podcast by just thanking you all for joining me. I really appreciate you coming and checking me out. I know it's been super sporadic this year. That's likely going to continue into 2021 as I assist in the virtual education of my first and third grader and try and keep up with the business, the Queen City Yarn business, and all of the things that go into that, as well as, regular mom, wife, all of those things. So I want to say, just yesterday I was thinking, okay, I've got to get a podcast up. The kids have a break. My husband is not working. We're just kind of chill. It has been busy this holiday season, even though we've been home and we've been doing all the things like baking cookies and celebrating via Zoom with family and all of the weird stuff. But yeah, this break has been busier than I thought it would be. I thought, honestly, that I would get a podcast recorded last week, and that just did not happen. It wasn't in the cards. But so yesterday, I was thinking, okay, tomorrow I'm definitely going to podcast. Let me just look and see what I've completed since the last time I podcasted. And that turned into me seeing, what have I actually completed this year? Because 2020, in so many ways, feels honestly like a wash to me. With school, my kids are learning, but it's not the same, with cultivating and just being around friends, cultivating community and being around friends and those kinds of things. It just seems like virtual is good, and thank goodness for Zoom and FaceTime and cell phones and all of the things, right? But it's just not the norm, and it doesn't feel complete, really, I feel like, for me. So I was thinking, gosh, even my crafting, I probably haven't really, I feel like I've been continuing to knit, and I've knit a lot, but I didn't really realize just how much I had knit until I took a look at my Ravelry, which I'm pretty good about keeping my projects up to date. So if I do talk about something or show something I've made, chances are I have a project page. Now, whether or not there's lots of details in that project page, there might not be. But if you have a question, you can always contact me and ask. But anyway, I was looking through the things that I had made and realized that I have been a very productive maker this year. I knit 15 sweaters. I knit 19 hats, 2 pairs of mittens, 14 neck accessories like cowls or shawls, 17 pairs of socks. Now, I didn't do all of the knitting on those pairs of socks this year, but they were on the needles and they're not anymore. 17 completed pairs of socks, only 6 ornaments, and 6 other things like leg warmers or ear savers for a nurse friend, a pot holder, different things like that. 30 of the 79 things that I finished in 2020 were gifts, and 32 of them were made out of Queen City Yarn. So lots of things finished, and today I'm going to show you 4 sweaters that I finished recently. all in Queen City Yarn. And I'm going to show you a new pattern that I released, oh my gosh, back in October. I'm going to show you a couple of gifts that I made that are in this house still. And I'm going to show you some works that I have currently in progress. Okay. Not sure if you heard that little giggle. That was my daughter coming in to see. She wanted to watch. And I was like, girl, I really got to get this done. I've already tried to record most of this podcast before, and my computer, something happened with the processing. So I may actually pause in moments and, or pause for a few moments and let it like process the video and then come back. So it may be a little choppy, but it's 2020 still. So there you go. All right. So first I will show the little things in my lap that I just picked up when I paused, and then I'll talk about the sweaters. So about a week before Christmas, my daughter told me, you know, Mom, I'd really like a pair of leg warmers. So I was like, all right, I can do that. So I cast on and knit her just a pair of stockinette leg warmers. They're rainbow. Her and I both really love color and rainbows, and so this is perfect for her. It matches all the things because it has all the colors. And for these, I just made up the pattern, but I used worsted weight yarn from Mint Rain in the Make Me Smile colorway, which I bought specifically to make something for Caitlin. I didn't know exactly what. At one time, I thought I was going to make it a hat. I'm glad I didn't, though, because these are pretty short little color repeats, and it would have been cute for it to chase itself around, but I think seeing the whole thing on one side really looks cool. I think I have leftovers. I think it'd make really cool mittens, so, or a cowl or something, so that might be happening soon-ish. But these are leg warmers, and these she got for Christmas. She was so surprised when she opened them, because she literally told me that she liked leg warmers for Christmas about a week before Christmas Day. And she was like, when did you knit these? Did you knit these after I went to bed? And I was like, yep, I did. So they were very quick because they're worsted weight yarn, and so she got those. And then for my son, he really liked the hat that I made my husband earlier in 2020. I think it was February of 2020. I just made him a black beanie, just a fitted black beanie, and Ryan wanted a hat just like his dad's. So I used Woolmy's blend that I had in my stash for ages and hadn't used in black, and actually I held it double because I cast this on the same time I cast on Caitlin's leg warmers and needed to get it done. No, you can't see that because it's so black, but I did a 5-point decrease, and it fits him really well. Initially, I had made it about 1.5 inches shorter in the body of the hat and totally misjudged how big he is, because he's 6.5. But he wanted it to be fitted, so I was trying to make it fitted, and I made it a little too fitted to the point where like it just like went over his ears here, but it was like all the way up his forehead. So I took the crown off and knit about 1.5 inches and then added the crown, knit the crown back on, and now it fits him great. He's got a little bit of slouch, and so it should fit for a year or so. Another finish I have is a pot holder, one of the 6 in the other category of my 79 finishes for the year, is this pot holder. This is like a gingham check, like plaid pot holder. I don't remember the pattern name or the designer, but I will put it on the screen here. This was knit with the September Queen City Yarn Studio Series yarn, which was 2 skeins of this really cool base. It's a 100% wool base, and it's like a zebra marl. So parts of it have like this black marl to it, and then parts of it are just the gray. The gray is actually the undyed, that with the black marling. This is kind of the undyed. And then I dyed one skein this like wine red because I don't know, I was really feeling like I needed some wine in my life at that point in time. You know, with school starting and all that. So this is a pot holder I made. I'm going to felt this. But this was really a fun project. This was my first time ever doing double knitting, and there was a learning curve to it, but the pattern that I used, the designer actually has YouTube tutorials linked to the pattern, which I got on for free off of Ravelry, and so I'll make sure I put that in the on the screen so you guys can see where I got it from. But I really love the result. I think I'll make another one of these and felt them and use them as hot pads on the table, you know, for like putting casseroles or whatnot. So there's that. And then I finished my little shorty socks out of the yarn jar that I was working on over the summer. These are just some very basic little shorty socks. The yarn is the yarn jar. I'm not sure the colorway name, but I did a very, very short cuff, just like one stripe of rib and then 2 other stripes before I went and started my slip stitch heel and heel turn. And then I did my very favorite double gusset heel on the bottom, where you decrease the gusset stitches on the bottom of the foot rather than on the side. And I just love the fit. I mean, you can see just how it scoops up there. So it feels really great on. And then I just did a wedge toe. So I finished this pair. I have some of this yarn left, like quite a bit, because obviously I only did shorty socks. So I could see myself making another pair of socks out of this yarn at some point. Whether they're for me or my daughter or a gift, I'm not quite sure. But this pair is for me, and they are done. And then I finished a very long-standing WIP, the pink blank socks. These were knit from a sock blank that I dyed right when Queen City really started. And they're just a very tall, long cuff with a fish lips kiss heel, which I don't love the fit of as much, but boy, it's a quick heel to knit. And then just plain foot, and I did a wedge toe and some very, very hot pink yarn. And I love them. These have been on the needles for 4 years. Well, they were on the needles for 4 years. They're not anymore. Now they're going in the sock drawer. So those are done. I finished lots of other pairs of socks because I gifted quite a few pairs of socks. I may, at the end of the video, insert in some pictures of some of the other things that I finished as gift knits, because like I said, sent all those off. The next thing I have to show is a new design. This is the Berry Hill on the double. This is my most recent design. It was released in October, and it's just that. This is the first draft, if you will, of the design. So it is a hat knit using holding 2 strands of yarn together. So 2 strands of our Berry Hill yarn, which is our exclusive yarn base that we have spun just for us at Queen City, and it is an 80% domestic merino, 20% alpaca, all locally sourced, and then it's spun right here in the North Carolina mountains. Well, right, not here, because I'm not in the mountains, but right in the North Carolina mountains. Just up the way a bit, you know? So this sample was knit using 2 strands of Midnight, and then a strand of Midnight and Poché, and then 2 strands of Poché, a strand of Poché and side sweatshirt, and then 2 strands of sweatshirt. So this is the first one, and then this is the final draft. You can see I made the sections a little bit longer in the final version, and I really love how it turned out. This one is knit with Mulberry, Wisteria, and Naked, and this mauve pom-pom is just everything for me. I absolutely love the way this hat turned out. And so, yeah. And to attach the pom-pom, it's one of these that has like the strings to attach it, and I just stuck those strings through a button so it would stay nice right on the top of the hat. No floppy pom-pom balls. So yay! So this is Berry Hill on the double. You can get this hat pattern on Ravelry. It's a Kristen Clement Designs, or you can get the pattern at queencityyarn.com. And we also have, I think we still have the kits up for it, but it's 3 skeins of Berry Hill yarn. And you can actually get 2 hats out of 3 skeins if you just switch up what this middle color is here. So if you wanted to use Naked here or Mulberry here in the middle and do it that way, then you can get 2 hats out of 3 skeins of our 50-gram skeins of Berry Hill. Now let's chat sweaters, because I have 4 finished sweaters to show you. I could not believe it when I looked through Ravelry and saw that I had completed 15 sweaters in 2020. So I have 4 of them to show you today. The first one I'm wearing is the easy one. This is by Joji Locatelli, and I knit this as part of the Joji Fall Cal. This is in Berry Hill yarn, and this is the Mulberry colorway. I absolutely love this sweater. This is actually the second easy one that I've knit. The first one I knit, I used Brooklyn Tweed Loft, and I did that 2 years ago, I think, and I really love it. That one I made a little more fitted. This one is just the perfect, like, comfortable. I love this sweater. Like, I could wear it every day. And it was very easy to knit. It's a bottom up knit, and you knit up to the sleeves. Is it a bottom up? Maybe it's not. Oh gosh, it's been so long. I don't remember. Anyway, it's a sweater by Joji Locatelli. It's top down. It's a top down sweater. It's very easy to knit. It's called the Easy One. It's a fingering weight sweater. Oh my gosh. Okay, another fingering weight Berry Hill sweater is that boy back up there. There we go. There we go. Okay, so this is another Berry Hill sweater. This is the Weekender Light by Andrea Mowry, and this is the colorway Azalea. I believe I was knitting on this the last time we chatted, and I'm so excited to have it done. This is another, like, I could wear it every day sweater, and I knew it would be because I've knit 2 of the heavier weight Weekenders, and I absolutely love them. But this weight is just perfect for our climate down here in the Carolinas, and I really, really love it. I knew that I needed an Azalea sweater in my life after my friend Lori knit the Easy One a couple years ago in Azalea. And so I'm really excited that now I have a Weekender Light in Azalea. And this is an Andrea Mowry pattern. This one is bottom up, and it's got you knit it inside out, so you're just knitting instead of purling. But you wear it with the purl side facing, and then you do this like slip stitch here, and it just gives a really nice little detail. And I love it. Highly recommend it. It's great with Berry Hill. Berry Hill at this gauge has a beautiful drape, and yeah, I'm super digging it. And then the next one I'll show you is my Rituals. This was another sweater that I knit as part of the Joji Fall Cal, and I absolutely love the way this sweater turned out. The fit on it is great. It's got some short rows. You can kind of see the short rows here with the way the stripes are, but it's got some short rows in the back. The center seam is in the back, and I really didn't do anything. I know you can do like a jogless stripe, but I just couldn't be bothered with it, to be honest. It's like it's in the back. I can't see it, right? So this is the front. And I loved this project so much. So I used Queen City yarn in our Biddleville DK, and the gray, green, kind of blue color here is a one of a kind, but keep your eyes peeled because I'm going to try and recreate it. I love this color so much. And then the stripes were knit in Sidewalk. And one of the things that I loved about this sweater was that I did not have to alternate skeins because the stripes broke everything up enough that I didn't have to alternate. Also, I used only one skein for the stripes, for the coordinating color. Now, I thought when I was working on the first sleeve that I might need to go break into another skein for the second sleeve, but I didn't. I had enough, and I had just a little tiny little ball left. So it was super awesome to only need one of the coordinating color. And I love it. I absolutely love it. It was fun. The lace chart was easy to memorize, and it was potato chippy because of the stripes. So highly recommend this one. This is Rituals by Joji Locatelli. And then the last sweater I have to show you is Donner. And this is one I believe I was working on. I think I was working on it the last time we chatted. This is Donner by Elizabeth Dougherty. And this is it's Queen City yarn, but it's not a base that we offer yet. Maybe we will sometime in the future, or we would definitely dye it up by special request. This is a merino silk blend, and it's gorgeous. The drape and the shine that the silk adds to this is just incredible. My mom had actually knit this sweater out of the same base in our Raindrops colorway a few years ago. So I actually dyed that colorway. It came into being because it was her birthday colorway, and I dyed it for her birthday. And so she knit this sweater in Raindrops, and I've loved it. Every time she's worn it around me, I've just, I've got to make that sweater. It's beautiful. And I couldn't be happier with how this one turned out. I've worn the heck out of it. It's another like loose fitting, the silk just gives it such pretty drape. The sleeves are not long sleeves. They're kind of 3/4 sleeves, and they're just super comfortable. So I love it, but it's warm enough, for down our weather down here. So I love this one too. And yeah, so those, let's see where I'm going to put this one here on the middle. Those are my finished sweaters. Okay, so now let's chat ornaments. Now, I kind of lost my ornament mojo in 2020. Until October, I had only made 2 ornaments. And I didn't even grab those 2 that I had made. They were like little cork gnomes or whatever that I had made. And that was all of the ornaments that I had made. And then October rolled around, and our friend Mary of Kino Knits asked us if we would like to dye a speckled yarn for a special pattern that she had for this year. And we were like, yeah, of course. We love working with her. Her designs are beautiful, and she's a lot of fun to work with. So she designed a dumpster fire ornament for 2020. My flame here in the center is kind of going down a little bit, but whatever. It is a literal dumpster fire, like this year has really just been. So I made one, like as soon as we dyed the yarn up, and then I made another one to give to a friend that I haven't seen yet. So this is part of a gift. But so those are 2 ornaments that I made, and then that was it. So I had made 4 ornaments through the year. And then over the holidays, I made 1 ornament, which is beautiful, and I'm very excited. This is from a mini skein that I believe this one was from Janice. I switched, made advent calendars with 2 of my friends, my friend Alexis that I did last year, and then Janice and I exchanged. So we made each other advents with minis that we had left over from projects. Some of the minis were new, but most of them were leftovers. Well, definitely everything I put in the minis for them, I think, was leftovers. But anywho, this was one. That's neither here nor there, right? This is one ornament that I made during the holidays, and I really love it. I love the look. It's got a plastic ball ornament in it from Michaels, but boy, it was such a pain to work. I mean, it was completely fine to work up until when you start the decreases, and then you have to put the ball inside, and you have to work around the ball. And that just didn't work for me. I didn't enjoy it. I wanted to finish it, and I really love it. And initially I thought, I'll do all of my minis into these ornaments and my tree will be so beautiful. And I made 1. We'll see if I make more. But that just wasn't, it was a pain to knit at the end. But Janice, knowing that I hadn't made many ornaments this year, in my advent calendar from her, she included 5 hand knit ornaments for my tree. The first one is this one, and this is our colorway Fierce, and she made this pussy hat ornament, which I totally love. And I think an ornament like this would be way easier to work than what I did, because it's flat up here. And she said she just Kitchenered the top. So that seems more reasonable to me for making ornaments. And then she used Jody Brown of the Grocery Girls, Miss Brown's Bags, I think this is the second year that she's done it, has had a hat vent pattern where she has little hat designs, and, oh no, is that coming off? I'm trying to keep that on there. Janice knit me 4 hat ornaments for my tree using Jody's hat vent pattern, and she used Berry Hill yarn for all of them. So I only have hooks on these 2. These ones I just kind of stuck in the tree, and she's got these sparkly pom-poms on there, but they're super cute. So my tree was happy this year because it did have some handmade ornaments. And it's so funny because usually I'm the one making ornaments for Janice, and she's got a little tree in her house that has mostly, I don't know if she has ornaments that she's knit and put on there, or it's mostly ornaments that I've made her in the past couple years. But so she helped me out with my tree this year, and every time I opened one, it just made me feel so loved, and I just really enjoyed adding to my handmade tree this year. Another thing that I made, and he's not necessarily an ornament, but he is a decoration. This is the Adventure Gnome, and I knit him as part of a mystery knit along during the month of December. I will put the designer's name at the bottom of the screen because I can't think of what it is right now, but isn't he cute? So every other day we got a clue, and then the days that we didn't get a clue to work on him, it was part of his story, and I just enjoyed the heck out of it. I used 4 colors, like 4 mini skeins from Queen City Yarn. The gray is Home Team Gray. The green is Irish Disappearing Trick. The red is Jam Session, and the black is He'll Only Wear Black Socks. And then I used just a bit of embroidery floss for his belt buckle. But he was so much fun, and look at his little shoes. They like curl up. Isn't he cute? I totally love it. I'm going to make another one for sure. I don't know what colors I'll use, but I think it'd be fun to have another one with this one. And actually, when I bought the Adventure Gnome pattern, like before the knit along started, the designer had a discount code, so I bought another one that has like all kinds of cables on it. It's gorgeous. So that's going to be happening too. I want to make all the gnomes. Also, I bought like a 2-pound bag of those weighted pellets, so he'll sit. I don't think I put quite enough in him. I think I'll put more in the next one. But yeah, I have lots of the stuff to fill him up with, so I totally love him. He's super cute. So that's my Adventure Gnome. All right, so those are the finished things that I have to share with you today. Let's talk what's on the needles. This is not all of what's on the needles. These are the things that I grabbed. So in future episodes, you'll see other things, I'm sure. I want to start with the one that I grabbed that has been on the needles since October. And I had all intentions of finishing these and wearing them on Halloween, and it just didn't happen. I have a really gorgeous sock blank, and I think I actually have the tag in here. I do, from Joyance Fiber Arts, and I had posted this on Instagram. And this is the sock blank is a Wicked Knit Night in the teal colorway. I do not plan on knitting up the entire sock blank because it is just too good, and I feel like I could frame a section of it like that witch right there, and I will have plenty left over. So there were 2-3 witches on there. So I have the first shorty sock done. I did just a little short top down with a little bit of a cuff and a slip stitch heel turn, and then I did the double gusset heel again, and then just a wedge toe. And these are for me. So the first one is done. The second one, it looks like I have done 1 round since I picked up after knitting my heel flap. So I have the top done. I have my slip stitch heel and heel turn done, and I've just picked up and done 1 decrease for my double gusset heel. So when you do the double gusset heel, this is actually a good way to show you. So you pick up around the sides of your sock, and then on either side of your heel turn you put a stitch marker, and you decrease inside of this under your foot until you only have, I go till 4 stitches, but you can go down to 2 stitches in between, and then you move them out so that you can eat up the rest of those gusset stitches, saving only the stitches that you intend to have still for the bottom of your foot. So this pair of socks is on the needle. This was in my purse for like grocery order pickup knitting, and just didn't get done. And so, yeah, I want to finish those. Actually, I really want to finish these, and then I want to put another pair of Christmas socks on the needles, because this year I wore all of my Christmas socks. I have a lot of pairs of Christmas socks, like definitely a full week's worth. I think I may have like 10 days worth of Christmas socks, but I would love to get to a point where I have a whole month worth of Christmas socks to wear without repeating any. And I definitely have yarn in the stash to do that. So in that thread, I started a new pair of Christmas socks. I did finish 2 pairs of Christmas socks this year, and I will show, I'll put a picture in here now because I'm talking about it. But I did the Kirby Werby Schitt's Creek Christmas Advent socks in DK weight, and they're super cute. And I think I wore those yesterday or the day before. And then I also got a skein of mustache yarn. Janice, myself, and my mom, I got my mom a skein of it too. It's a 20 stripe colorway called Hard Candy, and then we did the Candy Kisses pattern. I sort of did it. I only did the cable. I did the cable wrong because I looked at the pattern once and was like, I know how to do that. And I just did it, and then, so mine aren't like X's and O's going down the side of the leg. Mine are just like going, whatever. I'll show you next time, sometime. I think they're in the wash. But anyway. So I did 2 pairs of Advent-ish socks this year. And then when I finished those, I finished the Candy Kisses ones on Christmas Eve. And, you know, I was feeling grinchy, I guess, but like sad that I wasn't with family and all that. So I cast on a new pair of socks to cheer myself up. And the yarn that I used is Queen City in our Noda DK, and this colorway is called Christmas at the Beach, and this is a colorway that we've had for a couple of years, and we only dye it around Christmas time, and I actually hadn't knit with it yet, and I just absolutely love it. So it's like a sandy base, and then it's got all of the colors of the Christmas lights, like the old school Christmas lights, and I just really love it. And I used avocado toast for the cast on and first 2 rows. I'll use it for the heel flap and heel turn, and then also for a stripe before the toe, because I'm knitting my Swift Gift socks, which I released in June of 2020. Or July, June, the end of June 2020. And it's a DK weight sock. It's just, it's not a patterned sock, it's a stockinette sock, and it has the information for the tubular cast on in a coordinating color, heel flap and heel turn, and then uses the double gusset heel, and then a fun little stripe before you start the toe. And so it comes with, the kits come with a 100 gram skein of Noda DK, and then 20 grams of the coordinating color. So I started these Christmas Eve, and I've knit on them just a little bit. So this will be adding to my Christmas sock collection. And I really want to start another pair too. I just want to start out all the things. Like tomorrow, I just really want to like ransack this cabinet behind me and cast on everything. So we'll see what happens. I guess you'll have to stay tuned and see what happens next time. The next thing I'll show you possibly could be my 80th finished object for 2020. I am going to try and finish this today. This is a broken rib hat. This is just my own kind of design. And this yarn is special. It is Shibui. And I bought it at Crazy For You, which is a yarn shop, my mom's local yarn shop. And the owner there, Ellen, is so nice. She stocks Queen City quite often. But not last year, but the previous year, we went after the holidays. I was home for the holidays that year. We went over to the yarn shop, and I picked up this Shibui. And I'm going to tell you, do I have the tags in here? I do. So it's the mohair silk, which is called Silk Cloud. And this is just crazy soft and beautiful to work with. Look at the fuzz. It kind of looks like troll hair at the top, doesn't it? I'm putting it in front of my face so you can see it. Isn't that cute? Anyway. And the other base I'm using is Drift, which is a 85% extra fine merino, 15% cashmere, which my mom actually got me a sweater quantity of this for Christmas this year. And so I need to figure out what I'm going to make with it, but it's absolutely gorgeous. So this is my first time using these 2 yarns together for a project. Have I used Shibui before? I don't think I've used Silk Cloud before. Anyway, I had 2 skeins of the Drift. I am just getting finished with the first skein of Drift, so I'll have to break into that second skein to finish out the crown. But it's just a fun broken rib hat. I think I'm really going to love it. It's really comfortable. It's not like super tight, but it'll be slouchy. I'm about to start the crown here in a little bit. So right now, if I had a bun, I could be one of those bun hats. Anyway, so I want to finish this before midnight so I can have 80 projects done. Because wouldn't that be awesome? I mean, 79 is awesome, but 80 is an even round number, and I think that'd be super cool. So this hat is going to get finished today. So that's the hat I have on the needles. And then I have two other things to show you. I don't have tons of stuff on the needles right now, honestly. Tons of stuff that I'm working on. I do have that shawl, that brioche shawl still on the needles, but I haven't worked on it, so I didn't bring it to show. I have the two other projects I have to show you I'm really, really excited about. So my brother and sister-in-law are expecting their first in February. I'm so excited. Now, I'm kind of grumpy and aggravated that I haven't gotten to give my sister-in-law the biggest hug while she's been pregnant and feel the baby move and all that stuff. Because of COVID and the pandemic and all, I haven't gotten to do those things. But that doesn't mean I have not been thinking about my niece coming and being excited for them and just oozing with anticipation and excitement about the birth of this little girl. So I cast on a baby blanket, and I'm using the Latvian Garden baby blanket pattern. I think I actually have it. I do have the pattern. So this is a free pattern on Ravelry. This is actually the same pattern that I used for my daughter Caitlin's blanket. And with hers, I switched out the flowers for elephants, but this is by Anne Meyer, I believe is how you say the last name. So this is a beautiful colorwork baby blanket pattern, and you steek it at the end and then sew a backing or do a border and sew a backing. So I've started, and I'm really excited about how it's turning out. So I have the hearts done. So for this, I'm using an undyed naked yarn for the base, a 75-25 blend. The pink hearts are hedgehog. The teal hearts is Woolmize. This tobacco-y brown color is Woolmize. The flowers are Queen City Noda Sock in our Mountain Orchard colorway. I'll tell you the colors for the other as well, and I'll show you. So the center panel of this blanket is like a stained glass kind of looking pattern, and I'm going to be using these too. This is that teal Woolmize that I used for a couple of the hearts, and then the green is a sage color from Hedgehog. Okay, so I will tell you about the yarns. All right, so this is Sage, and that's Hedgehog Fibers sock yarn in the Sage colorway. So that's this. This is Woolmize, and this is Patina is the colorway. I've had this in my stash for a long time, and I think it's just beautiful in this combination. And then, let's see, the mauve, whatever, pinky color of Hedgehog is called Dusk. That's Hedgehog sock yarn, and that's this really pretty mauve pink color. And then the tobacco-y brown color is Woolmize, and that is in Palomino. So that's Woolmize Pure, so that's 100% superwash. So I know steeking with superwash yarn can be a little maybe not a great idea, but this will be the fourth of these blankets that I've made using superwash yarn, and I've had no problems. I think superwash is important for babies. I want these blankets, my kids certainly use theirs, and we've washed them and dried them a ton of times, and they were completely fine. And I had made the one for my nephew Colton a couple of years ago, and same deal, no real issues, but I just think it's so pretty. I love how it's turning out. Initially, I had chosen Koigu for the flowers, but it had too many light spots in it to really shine. So I think the Mountain Orchid is beautiful here. And the next section, like the stained glass looking section, is going to be that teal and sage. Okay, so yes, very excited. And then the last thing I have to show you is something that I've been planning for a while, but I just started it. How pretty is this? So my daughter, Caitlin, is all about big, bulky, comfy sweaters. I mean, I don't know where she could get that from. Comfy, oversized sweaters. The love of those things. Where? I don't know. Probably from me. But anyway, her birthday is coming up January 21st, and I am knitting her a sweater. And this is our bulky singles base, and this is the stand colorway that we dyed up in the summer. And I have 6 skeins of it. And so, yeah, I've started its bottom up, and it's going to just have a drop sleeve, but I'm really excited. I hope I have enough to knit it. I'm using a broken rib pattern, so I think it's really pretty. Although if I end up running out, I may rip it and do stockinette, because I think it will take less yarn. But anyway, isn't it pretty? I just love how it's working up. And these colors are like her colors. The blue and turquoise, and I think the spots of black and gold just really are beautiful. So that is started. And for that, I'm not using an actual like pattern per se. I do have the Ann Budd book of sweater patterns, and I'm using that as like a guide for how I'm going to do it, as well as a sweater that she has already that she loves. So yeah, that is what is going on the needles and off the needles and all that stuff. Like I said, at the end, I will show some finished objects, and maybe I'll talk through a few of them here and put pictures in. The things that I sent off for holiday gifts. So this year, I knit my mom a sweater. I knit her the Sealbach sweater by Thea Coleman, I believe is the designer, in a beautiful teal Woolmise DK. And it's an all-over cable sweater, except for the sleeves. The sleeves were just plain knit, and it was knit in pieces. And I decided that I was going to knit her this sweater in like October. And so, yeah, I knit it for her, and she had absolutely no idea. And I sent it up for her, and we were like Zooming, opening gifts, and she opened it and was so excited and promptly put it on and said it just fits perfectly, and she's worn it. And so she's got a Kristen hug up in Maryland from me that she's going to be wearing quite a bit, and it really turned out beautifully, and I could see myself knitting another one. It was not a hard pattern to follow. I really enjoyed the cables. I did cabling without a cable needle for it, and I enjoyed the process. It wasn't hard to seam up either. And so you seamed up the body, and then you just picked up stitches and knit the sleeves down, so you didn't actually have to seam the sleeves in, which was really nice, because I don't like seaming sleeves in. So I finished that. I made quite a few hats for my nephews up in Pennsylvania. I knit Batman-inspired hats using some Batman self-striping yarn from Mint Rain, which was another worsted weight. I got it actually the same time that I had gotten that yarn that I used for Caitlin's leg warmers. So I knit a Batman hat for my nephew Colton and Jacob, and then Mike's brothers this year. 2 of them got gritty hats. So they are big Philly sports fans, and the Philadelphia Flyers is the hockey team up there, and they love the Flyers, and the mascot for the Flyers is Gritty, which is like this crazy monster looking orange guy. And I found a maker in Philly that actually had gritty patches that you could like sew on. And I still had some of the hat trick yarn in the Philadelphia Flyers colorway left over. And I held that together with a black Woolmize fingering weight and knit them gritty beanies and sewed the patches on, and they turned out so good. So 2 of his brothers got that. Kevin got socks, DK weight socks. Let's see what else. I don't know. I sent all the gifts up. I didn't get to see everyone open their hand knit gifts from me. I got to see a lot of them, but I didn't get to see everyone, and that's something that I always enjoy, kind of seeing them open their gifts. So I look forward to that. Next year, hopefully we'll be able to be with family during the holidays in 2021. But yeah, we had a really nice holiday here. It was a lot of work, a lot of cooking and that kind of stuff, and that usually I share those things, those tasks with my mom or with Mike's mom and dad, and so I missed that. We definitely missed being with our families, but we had a really great time here with the kids. I think we made it really special. It's definitely memorable. I think the whole year of 2020 will be one that we will not forget. But we're looking forward to 2021. We are going into the year with all the good intentions for staying safe, staying healthy, helping to do our part to keep others safe and healthy, and just, hopeful that we will get to spend time with our family that doesn't live right here in the next year, because that's something that we've missed a bunch this year. So anyway, hopefully I will get to podcast some more in 2021. I'm not going to make any promises because, it's still going to be doing the virtual learning with the kids, and that takes up a lot of time, and so, it is what it is. We're just trying to make it through. And, but hopefully I will see you soon. If you enjoyed the podcast, subscribe, and sometime when I record another one, it'll let you know. So I also just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has supported the yarn business, Queen City Yarn, over the year. It has been a trying year for a lot of people, for many, many small businesses, and we are just very, very thankful that we've had such a good year, despite not being able to go to vend in person and doing vending via Zoom for some events. And we just really, really appreciate every single order, all of your support throughout the year. We've been able to donate well over $1,000 to charities that we really believe in, local and nationwide, because of your support. We've been able to do that. The Queen City Yarn has been able to do that, and we're just very, very thankful of that. We have a lot of new things coming in the new year. We're getting ready to start year 2 of the Queen City Yarn Studio Series Yarn Club, and we're really excited for what we have planned out and in store for you for this year. And we have some virtual events lined up pretty soon, and you'll see those on the website when everything is confirmed as for what is coming. And just thank you. Thank you so, so much for everything and for all of the support. It's been a hard year in many ways, but it's also been a really amazing year to see what we can do when we come together, even be it virtually. So until next time, happy knitting.